The studio lights of the view glowed hot and bright as the audience settled in, buzzing with curiosity. Everyone knew today's guest would stir the room. Blake, the country singer famous for his humor, charm, and a sharp tongue when pushed too far. But no one, not even the producers, expected what would unfold live on air. Backstage, Blake adjusted his denim jacket and flashed a grin at the camera assistant. "You ready for this?" she asked. "Darlin', I was raised on cattle farms and county fairs. I can handle a table full of talk show hosts," he joked, stepping out toward the stage. The moment he walked out, the crowd erupted in applause. He waved, bowed playfully, and took his seat. Across the table, Joy Behar gave a raised eyebrow, the kind that meant she was already preparing to test him. "Welcome, Blake," she said with a tight smile. "Well, Joy, thanks for having me. I think," he teased. Laughter followed. But beneath that laughter, a tension simmered, one that neither of them yet understood. The segment began calmly. The hosts asked about his music, his upcoming tour, and his recent charity work. Blake answered with his usual humor and humility, winning the audience quickly. Then the shift came. "So, Blake," Joy leaned forward, flipping through her cards with exaggerated flair, "you made some comments earlier this year about Hollywood being out of touch. Do you still stand by that?" The audience murmured. Blake smiled slowly. "Well, I mean, I didn't say anything untrue." Joy chuckled, but there was no warmth in it. "You know this is Hollywood's favorite show, right?" "Exactly," Blake replied. "That's why I came. I figured someone's gotta bring a little reality into the studio." The crowd howled, some laughing, some gasping. Joy forced a laugh of her own, visibly annoyed. Reality. Coming from a country singer. "You think you know more about the real world than everyone sitting here." Blake sat up straighter. "Joy, I grew up baling hay at 4 in the morning. Trust me, I've met reality." Shook its hand. "Probably smelled worse than the truth y'all try to polish." The room exploded with roars of laughter. Joy's eyes narrowed. "So you're saying we don't know anything about real life?" Blake leaned in, still calm. "I'm saying Hollywood sometimes forgets the folks out there, real people who work hard, struggle hard, and still find a way to smile. You know, the people who watch your show." A wave of applause rolled through the audience. Joy cut in sharply. "We talk about issues that matter." "Oh, I know," Blake said, nodding. "But sometimes you talk about them like you're looking down from a really fancy balcony." The entire panel froze for a moment. Joy's irritation now hardened into challenge. "Let me ask you something, Blake. Why do celebrities like you always want to preach to us like you're the moral compass of America?" He let out a soft chuckle. "Me? Preach? Joy, come on. You're the one with the microphone 5 days a week. I get 30 seconds before a commercial break." The crowd burst with laughter again. A few stood to clap. Joy wasn't having it. She crossed her arms. "You think you're funny. But let's get serious. Isn't it dangerous to criticize people in this industry? Don't you think you're biting the hand that feeds you?" Blake's expression shifted, from humor to steady resolve. "Joy," he said slowly, "I don't sing to be fed. I sing because that's what I was born to do. I don't worry about Hollywood feeding me. I worry about the people who buy tickets, who listen to my music in their trucks on the way to work, who save money for months to go to one concert. That's who feeds me. And I'll never apologize for standing up for them." The entire audience erupted, this time in full, thunderous applause. Joy blinked, speechless. Blake continued, his voice deeper now, resonant. "You know what the real danger is? Forgetting where you came from. Losing touch with the world outside these walls. Thinking your voice is the only one that matters." One host placed a hand over her mouth. Another leaned back, stunned. Joy forced a smile, but her voice cracked slightly. "Well, that was quite the monologue." Blake grinned. A little reality check never hurt anybody. Joy tried again to regain control. "Blake, maybe you should stick to music instead of lecturing." "Oh, I'll keep singing," he said. "But I'll also keep saying what I believe. I'm not scared of a conversation, even a spicy one like this." Laughter rippled again. Joy inhaled sharply, preparing to fire back, but before she could, Blake added. "Look, Joy, I don't dislike you. You're tough. You speak your mind. I respect that. But you better respect the fact that I speak mine too." A rare silence fell over the table. And for the first time, Joy had no comeback. The audience exploded in applause, louder than at any moment that day. People cheered, whistled, even stood on their feet. Blake leaned back casually, winking at one of the cameras as if he'd just roped a wild bull at the county fair. The producers backstage watched with wide eyes. Phones buzzed. Clips were already being clipped, titled, and prepared for viral wildfire. Joy finally cleared her throat. Well, that was enlightening. Blake nodded politely. Glad I could brighten your morning. As the host tried to transition to commercial, the crowd continued cheering. Blake waved, smiling calmly, but the fire in his eyes showed he knew exactly what he'd just done. He didn't destroy Joy. He destroyed the illusion that he'd sit quietly. The moment the cameras cut, Joy stood up, shook his hand stiffly, and said, "You really don't hold back, do you?" Blake smiled. What's the fun in that? Walking off stage, he heard the producers whispering urgently. That clip is going viral. That's going to break numbers. That was live, oh my god. Blake chuckled to himself. Hollywood was shocked. But Blake, he was just getting started.